Cowboy fans and YouTubers? It's that vid Dallas Cowboy fan coming back at you on a Victory Monday. Woo! There's a lot to unpack, man. Gosh, you got the Cowboys beating the brakes off the Eagles 37-17, right? But, of course, the graphic that went up and that the Eagles will cry about is, one, the refs. And it's nice to see the referees go our way for once instead of going against us. Two, that ever since Fletcher Cox went down from an injury, they said stinger, we outscored the Eagles 34-3 after he was injured. Now, not saying that one guy turns the whole thing around, but good Lord, that's a heck of a statistic that you just don't want to see. Excuse me. With this win, Zeke went over 100 yards, and he is now 63 yards away from breaking 1,000 yards on the season, which will make him 1,000 yards back every season he was actually eligible to get 1,000 yards. You know, minus the suspension year. Amari Cooper went over 100 yards. He is now in the 1,000-yard club for the season. Michael Gallup is, I think, 742 yards, but he also went over 100 yards and scored two touchdowns. And CeeDee Lamb, for a rookie, has 872 yards, something like that, and he's almost a 1,000-yard receiver. Imagine if Dak was still throwing to all of them, and we didn't have those down games where these guys weren't catching anything. Tony Pollard came in, tried to give us a boost. Between him and Zeke going off, the run game was actually pretty good. The offensive line came in, did their best to keep Andy Dalton upright, and it worked. There was just some times where he held the ball a little too long, and that resulted in sacks. But, you know, other than that, they kept it clean. The defense, the run defense is still horrible. But after that first quarter, they turned it around. And maybe I'm wrong, but it was after that Deshaun Jackson wide open touchdown. Sean Lee took that whole defense to the side, and they showed that he basically gave them all a talking to. And if that's not coaching material, I don't know what is. Because after he took them all to a side and basically told them that that bull was not going to happen again in this game, they went on that tear. That defense created turnovers. Trayvon Diggs now has 3 interceptions in his rookie season. And for everybody saying, man, we miss Byron Jones, but Trayvon Diggs has now got more interceptions in his career in 1 year than Byron Jones does in 6 years. So imagine what's going to happen in year 2 when he can take that leap and get an offseason of actual training. God. Anthony Brown came up with another pick. Jordan Lewis and Cheeto were pretty up and down. They got caught with penalties, but they also made great defensive plays. Sean Lee made great defensive plays. Jalen Smith is Jalen Smith. He was all over the place. He was either too late on tackles or he was in perfect timing. I don't know what to tell you on that. He's an up and down player in a game. But in reading today, he might get hit with a fine because there was video of him taking a shot at one of their right tackle. It looked like during a play when they were meant to turn around and chase the play down, he kind of head-butted the guy and kept running the play down. More than likely, he will get hit with a fine. They did send the video to the NFL, so we'll have to see how that goes. But all in all, great game. It was an all-around team effort, and surprisingly, it's going to be an off-season of change again. With everything going on, we may actually make the playoffs. Who knows, depending on coming down the next weekend. But now you got the reports that Kellen Moore may be on his way out to Boise State to coach. And everybody wanted Mike Nolan out, so you might not even have the two coordinators that y'all were so down on going into next season after 1 year. And that's the guys y'all wanted to blame everything on, if not Mike McCarthy. So we'll see. If this team takes another step backwards, you're going to be like, well, damn, was it the coaches or what? Because y'all keep making excuses for everybody but the players. But it is what it is. It's just so much going on. The Washington football team basically blew it. Dwayne Haskins was ineffective all 4 quarters till he was benched in the 4th for Tyler Heineke. And I know him because he played at ODU around this area. So I know about his past. He was a pretty good quarterback in college, but the pros never gave him a shot. He's always backed up other people and never getting a real shot. And then when it does come time for him to be thrust into action, he's literally thrust into action in a 4th quarter or something, and it has to bring the team back. And I mean, he does okay for getting no kind of reps, but he may be the Washington football team starter going into next week if Alex Smith can't go. Why? Because Dwayne Haskins was cut a couple of hours ago. You kind of saw the writing was on the wall. He kind of knew it after the picture leaked out that he was unmasked and strippers and that whole thing. You know, he even knew that if he didn't get a win, that was more than likely going to be his last game, and that was exactly what happened. So he is done. As far as the quarterback, the Giants, they lost to Baltimore, which was kind of obvious. But now the onus is on them to play spoiler against us Sunday afternoon. Daniel Jones is expected to be back, but it's not like he was a world beater the first time we played him. And this is a whole lot different defense than when he saw. This defense has now come alive, and like I've said previously, once we hit turnovers, we get turnovers in bunches. I admit Philadelphia, we did get one over on y'all on the Jalen Hurts fumble. It looked like his knees were down before the ball was completely out of his hands. But I guess they saw that it was starting to bobble, and they called it on the field as a fumble, and they just couldn't overturn it. They just couldn't. Without video clear evidence of either way, they couldn't change the call on the field. We know it goes against us all the time, so we know exactly how that feels. But yes, from a Cowboy fan to a Philadelphia fan, we did get that one over on y'all. But doesn't matter. We still beat you. Victory Monday. Moving on to the Giants. I don't need to give the coaching and the offensive and defensive grades this week. Everybody deserves a good grade. Belated Christmas present. Y'all did great. Y'all went out. Y'all played a complete game. We've been looking for this for the longest. And, you know, aside from coaching changes next season, just imagine if this defense can get better. Meaning, I mean, the aerial attack, we're pretty, I think we're either middle of the pack or in the top 15, around the top 10 or top 15. We're in the higher up half as far as passing defense, but our run defense is what's bringing us down. So imagine what will happen next season if our rushing defense could match up against our passing defense. And that's a whole improvement. And I don't even need to say anything about the offense. If they can get an offensive mind that's pretty much, you know, it doesn't have to be the Garrett offense. It doesn't have to be the Kellen Moore offense. It could be Mike McCarthy's scheme. It could be any new guy they want to bring in. As long as we get an off season to establish it, this team can still put up points in bunches. So that should be good to go. Especially with all the returning players from injury. Ooh, boy. Man. Interesting side note, Michael Gallup has congratulated, you know, the other receivers on the team. He knows that his contract is coming up and he still wants to remain a Cowboy. So I hope the Cowboys figure out a way to keep him. But if not, it's going to be a loss, a huge loss. And, you know, I hope to see him basically keep breaking records this season and next. Because this may be the end of Michael Gallup in a Cowboys uniform. Much like that was probably the last home game Sean Lee will be playing. Coaching, that could be a whole different thing. He might go into coaching, and hopefully the Cowboys are smart enough to retain him as a coach, because he, as you can see, he definitely can get to the defense, just being any kind of leader, and turn the whole thing around. He doesn't even have to be a player. So that's my thoughts. Gonna start working on the Giants now. Eagle hate week is over. Mark Holmes, Joe Boo, his head will remain with you. Michael Anthony reactions, that's going to be for the belt. I'm not sure how Carpizzle is going to go about actually, putting the belt on the line or not. Because technically, you should have been winning that belt back from Philly 500 last night, but, he put it on the line against Carpizzle for some reason. But, y'all figure that out. That's y'all domain. Black Star Sports TV, I'm going to get with you. I've just been trying to figure out how to work the StreamYard and, get that going so we can hook up sometime, get this round table of Cowboys YouTubers going. And that's all I got for you. Happy Monday. It's almost 2021. Y'all take care out there. Stay safe. Happy birthday to my little boy. Yesterday, he turned 5 years old. I love him to death. He annoys me with all his toys, but I still love him. All right, y'all take care. VA Dallas Cowboy fan.